Pay attention, pay attention, pay attention. Check it out. We got the break-in right now. Right, Lil Durk is sitting there. He's in the cell. The feds come in. They give him a forced superseding indictment. Everybody's thinking that the forced superseding indictment mean that they got new charges. They don't see new charges, so they automatically think that Durk is looking good. He gonna beat the case because the case is weak. Yes, the feds saw it the same way on the chessboard. That's why they went back and did what they call a superseding indictment, not to supersede with charges, but supersede with wording and language and legal qualifications and jurisdictions and all that. That way they could tighten their case up because they saw the weakness. But the question I got for you is, a lot of these YouTubers been doing a great job analyzing, what they call it, analyzing the case and all that. But do you think they analyzing the case at the wrong time? The feds is watching what they're saying and picking up their beat in order to make the next move, in order to put Lil Durk in a coffin and put the nail around the pieces of the coffin? That's what we gonna talk about. Let's get this right. All right. All right, so we're gonna dive right into this because we got a lot of jewels for you today. I'm gonna keep it real because it's Friday. I got a lot of things to do, big weekend ahead. So we're gonna talk about, the first 60 to 90 seconds, right? There's two sides of the chessboard. That's why they have black on one side, white on the other. So whether it's blue on one side or red on the other, we're not gonna play the race card. We're not gonna even go there. But I want you to imagine this. One room has prosecutors. Another room got lawyers. They got files, they got evidence, they got status, they got strategy, and somebody sees a weakness. Not a weakness in Lil Durk, a weakness in their own paperwork. Something the defense might attack. Something that might become a problem in front of a jury. And instead of protecting their pride, they just move the piece. When I say that, meaning, because we're gonna ride early. We're gonna take you into a criminal mindset real quick. That's like, we go rob a bank. Now, there's two of us here, right? But they normally two security guards, so I only bring another gunman. You understand? So that now we go rob the bank. We see that today they got 3 guards. So instead of saying, let's go back to the beginning and restructure this plan for 3 guards, we, with a street mentality, is gonna say, nah, we gonna still make a move, but you get this too, or I'm gonna get this too. And now one man gotta hold 2 people, and now it's a 50-50 chance that something ain't gonna go right. But instead, we could have went back to the drawing board and got a 3rd person. That's what's going on here with the prosecutor. They seen the case was weak, so they went back to the drawing board and they got from the information, from the data that they've been getting from the cell phone, from the witnesses telling and co-defendants telling, and this one telling, the case got bigger and broader, and before you know it, it blew all out of proportion. And now they see that they had it wrong, how they had him charged. So they redo and restructure everything and they come back, right? So check it out. Now, they move the pieces. They fix it. They restructure it. They tighten it. They keep coming. They keep putting pressure on Lil Durk. Now travel across town, right? A different room, different atmosphere. Steel door, concrete, federal custody. And Lil Durk is sitting somewhere knowing August 20th is coming closer and closer and closer. I can't tell you what's inside that man's head. None of us can. But I know something about waiting for the federal government to make his next move. I know something about waking up. I know, I mean, I'm like tapping back in right now, and I'm like kind of, like I said, I know something about waking up and your future isn't in your hands anymore. No more going to Club 2000. No more flying to Miami. No more driving down to DC. No more going to Goon Bay in Miami. Your lawyers call. Your heart moves before your mouth does. Somebody says, we want something. Hope comes alive. Then another document gets filed, and here comes that pressure again. That's the part the internet doesn't feel. Everybody else gets to discuss the chessboard the defendant has to live on it. The government sees a problem, they correct it. Durk's defense sees an opening, they attack it. One side tried to tighten the case. One side trying to create reasonable doubt. And nobody knows the final move yet. That's why we have to stay as many moves in front of our opponent as possible. Who's under more pressure? The side trying to prove the case, or the man whose freedom is sitting on the board? I'm gonna repeat that question because I really want to answer to that. Who's under more pressure? The side trying to prove the case, meaning the government? Are they under more pressure to prove the case? Or is Lil Durk as the man whose freedom is sitting on the board has to lose? That's where we're starting today. Now, class, pay attention and just relax, because this isn't another Lil Durk update. This is what happens when federal court becomes chess and every square matters. We're gonna tell you about those squares. Now, in the streets, you could sometimes survive a bad move. In federal court, a bad move can follow you for the rest of your life. And when your freedom is the king of the board, you better understand who's moving the pieces. Remember that. I'm ready to get going. Let's talk about how the government saw the crack in the case, right? Now, class, pay attention and sit up straight. This is the part I want you watching. Not emotionally, strategically. The government had an indictment. Lawyers studied it. Defense lawyers studied it too. And somewhere in the process, a possible vulnerability appears. The issue reportedly involved stalking allegations. I said, man, we can't prove these stalking allegations like we want to prove them, so we have to rewrite it like this because this one said that, that one said this, and this is what we got from that, and that's how we can tighten that up. But if we don't tighten it up, then the defense can attack it this way, and they're not trying to have that go down. So the issue reportedly involved, like I said, stalking allegations. Multiple alleged victims, and how those allegations were placed into counts. Lawyers have a word for the potential problem. It's called duplicity. Let me translate that to you, Ron, because I'm not interested in impressing you with legal language and trying to sound like I'm no scholar. I'm just an old criminal that did 26 years in federal prison, screwed up, did time in the state prison before the federal prison, and now this is what was created but reformed to try and prevent you from going down that path that's watching this. Remember, if you like the content, hit the like button. Make sure you hit the like button, put a comment, put an emoji, put something that's what push it. I ain't got the plaque near me. I ain't gonna stop to get it. I got the little honey crap, but that ain't nothing. Right now, they say that y'all got a comment. So let's get back into this, Ron. I'm interested in making you understand what I'm saying. A jury needs to understand exactly what alleged offense they're deciding. You can't just mix things in and expect the jury to figure it out. It's if separate alleged offense get improperly, let me see how to put this out. If separate alleged offenses get improperly mixed together, you can create legal problems. Problems with the verdict, problems with what they call unanimity, problems that the defense can attack. Now, here's the chess move. Prosecutors didn't have to sit there saying, but this is how we originally wrote it. This is what we meant. They changed it. They separated the allegations. They tightened the structure. They kept moving. That mentality right there is something I wish more people learned before they destroyed their lives. Because pride says, I'm not changing nothing. I wrote it right the first time. Strategy says, this ain't working. Let's fix it. Now, let me take that. I'm gonna take another ride. I'm gonna take you in my federal custody, how this thing played out. Now, they charged me with a federal kingpin. That's at 21 U.S.C. 848, right? That means continued criminal enterprise. So they're trying to say that continuously violating the drug laws, selling drugs, and in that statute, which statute stands for like a recipe. Just like a cake have an egg, flour, and milk. You know what I mean? That's a recipe. Element is what is the substance and the ingredients to a charge, to a count, to like the stalking charge that Lil Durk has. So now in my case, they sat there and they, you gotta have 3 drug violations. That means a continuing series, just like a baseball series, 3 or more. Let's keep it moving. That's a series. So they understood that had to rule on that in the Supreme Court because they locked me up. And I didn't even have not one drug charge. I had 1 drug charge on indictment. Beat it, was acquitted of the only drug charge I was charged with. Never had another drug charge. But the charge says continuing series. So what they did was say, well, you could use anything that listed unique in the indictment as a part of that continuing series. It don't just have to be drugs. And that's where I had them. I went all the way to the Supreme Court. Look me up in Richardson versus United States. I'm talking about some brothers out of Chicago. Big shout out and round of applause to Chicago. All right, relax, y'all, relax. Relax, man, relax. Well, they the ones that opened up my case, so you understand, right? Now, I wound up beating it because they said no, it had to be drug violations because it's a Title 21 drug charge. You can't use the money laundering charge, and he wasn't even charged with anything but 1 drug charge, and he was acquitted of that. So show me the 3 drug charges was my argument. And they kept saying, we can't hear this today because you're not using the proper vehicle to use it to come in because you already filed your direct appeal. Your 2255 was denied, your Supreme Court was denied, and then Richardson came to the court. So being that your remedy was done based on the ADPA, which is the Anti-Death Penalty Terrorism Act, that's the joint that Bill Clinton signed in back in 1996 that said that you only get to go 1 time up that ladder and you can't go back unless a new Supreme Court case comes and you must put that in within the first year. It's a whole other prison video I gotta do on that. But do you understand what I'm saying? The words that are coming out my mouth and this getting complicated. But let me get back to Lil Durk. I just felt like riding. When somebody shows you the hole in the plan, do you repair the hole or attack the person who pointed it out? Think about that in a legal sense with Durk's thing. Here you go, the prosecutor, they see a little hole in the wall, something don't look right. You know what I mean? So do they repair that hole or do they attack the person that might try and cover that hole, which is Lil Durk's defense team? That's where ego destroys people. We become more committed to being right than getting it right. Now, the jewel in that, right? Gotta give you the bell. Gotta give you the bell. Never become so loyal to your first decision that you refuse to make a better one. A bad plan does not become a good plan because your pride won't let you turn around and restructure. And we still ride. Remember that, we still ride. Now, put yourself behind the wall. Now, come with me. Because paperwork is one thing. Living underneath the paperwork is something different. You wake up, small walls, same doors, same routine, but the calendar changed. 1 less day. Trials getting closer. Every morning, every night, every lawyer visit, every phone call, every means something. Everything means something. Somebody tells you the judge granted this. Good news. Your mind jumps. Maybe the case is weakening. Maybe they're losing. Maybe I'm going home. Then another filing comes. Another government move. Another argument. Another night sharing and staring at that prison wall. Again, I'm not claiming that's what Durk is thinking. I don't know his private thoughts. I don't know that environment. And I know that uncertainty, what it does to your mind. When I was fighting for my own freedom, a small piece of good news could feel enormous. You hold on to it. It makes you feel alive again. You replay what the lawyer said, or you replay what the motion said when you read it, and you read the same response from the court 1,000 times. Because you're looking for hope. You start calculating possibilities. Maybe hope comes. Maybe hope becomes oxygen. But here's the danger. Hope can also start lying to you, because winning one argument is not the same as winning your freedom. How do you hold on to hope without letting hope convince you the fight is already over? That's difficult, especially when hope is the only thing keeping you standing. Hope is so important, because without hope, you feel like you're dying inside. Hope keeps you alive. Reality keeps you prepared for what the next move is. You need both, because the courtroom eventually makes everybody stop imagining and start dealing with what actually happened. We riding right now. Durk's defense made its own chess move. Let's talk about Durk's defense chess move, right? Because this is a legal chess move right now. This is the streets against the courts. Now watch the other side of the board, because this ain't government playing chess by itself. Durk has lawyers too, and they're getting paid to see weakness. Prosecutors had brought additional allegations into the larger situation. Durk's attorney pushed back. Their basic position was, we've been preparing for this case, and now you're bringing us a whole nother case? You can't change the battlefield late. Dump massive additional preparation on us. And how you gonna bring all this preparation? You know what it's gonna be like to prepare for these new charges right now when we already prepared to go to trial on August 20th? Nah, they pushed back. The judge separated certain later added allegations from the trial. Now, just so you understand. So in other words, let me break that down, Ron. Let me ride into that. The charges they tried to bring Durk before, the judge just ruled that he can't bring the charges now in this trial, because it's not enough time for them to prepare for that trial. But those charges you do have, when this is over, you could charge him all over again and get another bag of money from him, getting another bag of lawyers, but we're gonna let him out enough time to be able to make enough money to still give us our cut by letting him make platinum hits while he's out on bail the second time, because they're gonna say that he did his time, he beat the case, they bring a new indictment, his lawyer's gonna get him bail, because he's not a flight risk. He just sat through a trial. And once that lawyer gets him bail, he goes back to his life. They pushed the case back about 8 years. You know how much money he's gonna make in 8 years after beating this? Just like I got to tell you all about the Pooh Shiesty Gucci Man joint. You know, Pooh Shiesty just dropped the album today. If you really want to know what's going on, what happened with him dropping the album, why that's a strategic move to tell you how the case is going to play out, you know what I mean? Put it in the comments and I'm going to get it to you. Now, right, so we understand that, class. The judge separated certain later allegations from this trial. That's meaningful. That's a defense move. But here's where social media gets people confused, right? Separated does not automatically mean destroyed. It does not automatically mean dismissed forever. It means those matters were separated from their particular trial. From this particular trial, it's separated. Chess, defense pushes, judge rules, government adjusts, defense studies the adjustment, government studies the defense. Everybody moving, except there's one difference. Lawyers go home, prosecutors go home, court staff goes home. Fans close YouTube and they're done with it. The defendant doesn't go home. Who carries the heavier consequence when the courtroom shuts down for the night? That's why I keep telling young people, never let somebody make prison sound like a game, because it's no game. Now, the jewel in that is the people cheering your decisions really have to serve any consequences. Everybody can tell from the sidelines the prison or the person wearing the handcuffs or the one paying the bail. Why this federal move matters. Some people are going to say the feds changed the indictment. That means, they're scared, maybe, maybe not. We don't know that. And we're not going to manufacture an emotion for prosecutors either. What we can observe is their strategy. They saw something they believed needed correction. They corrected it. That's it. And that matters. Because weakness recognized early can sometimes be repaired. Weakness ignored becomes vulnerability. That's true in court, right? That's true in business. That's true in relationships. And Lord knows that's true in the streets. I remember situations where everybody knew something didn't feel right. Plan already, changed. People out of position. Like I said, there's 3 tellers now in the bank instead of 2, or 3 security guards instead of 2. Energy's just wrong. Warning signs everywhere, warning signs everywhere. But somebody says, we already here. Let's do it anyway. Man, those 3 words have destroyed lives. We already here. So instead of leaving, you force it. Instead of thinking, you react. Instead of turning around, you keep moving towards disaster. At what point does continuing to stop being encouraged? At what point does continuing stop being encouraged and start becoming self-destruction? That's the question some people learn 26 years later. Retreat is not always weakness. Sometimes the smartest move on the board is taking your hand off the piece. But we got to ride into the dark psychological cell right now. Man, I've been here 25 minutes. I gotta get up out of here. Now, here's the part. Nobody can, photograph the mental cell. Outside, people see Lil Durk, famous rapper, money, success, records, fans, headlines, federal custody strips, all that down. The court closes the same. The count happens the same. The door closes the same. The waiting feels the same. Count. Date. Court date is arising. The government is filing motions. Lawyers are preparing arguments, and your brain keeps running. Nighttime is where everything gets louder. During the day, you can distract yourself. You can talk, you can read, you can exercise, you can handle business. But eventually, that unit gets quiet. Lights lower, conversation slows down, and now it's you and your thoughts. Again, I can't tell you what Lil Durk thinks at night, but I've lived through nights where freedom was uncertain. And that's when your mind becomes both lawyer and prosecutor. 1 minute you're winning the case in your head. The next minute you're losing it. 1 minute you're home. The next minute you're calculating years. That's emotional whiplash. And nobody on Instagram sees it. I know my brothers and sisters that been in the struggle, that had to deal with this. You've seen it, you felt it, you lived it, you smelt it, and you defecated it. But they don't understand that, so they run towards that prison until they gotta go through the same torture that unique Mecca audio is trying to prevent you from going down. What's heavier? Knowing the worst is coming, or not knowing which future is coming at all? Think about that. What's heavier? Knowing the worst is coming, or not knowing which future is coming at all? For some people, uncertainty is the punishment before the punishment. But I gotta give you the jewel in that, because I ain't give you a jewel in a minute. Be careful making decisions today that leaves tomorrow's version of you begging for answers. 5 minutes of emotion can create years of uncertainty. Did you hear what I just said? 5 minutes of 5 seconds of an emotional reaction can create years of uncertainty. Now, don't confuse correction with a collapse. Just because the government is correcting a case don't mean the case was collapsing. This matters because internet court moves too fast. Government changes something, case collapsing. Defense loses something, it's over. Slow down, pump your brakes. Federal cases don't work that way. One thing doesn't decide everything. One motion doesn't decide everything. One amended charging document doesn't decide everything. Ultimately, it's the evidence that matters. What gets admitted matters. Witnesses matters. Cross-examination matters. Jury instructions matter. The jury matters. So I'm not going to tell you this filing proves somebody cooperated. It doesn't. I'm not going to say some secret phone it caused the particular change. We don't have that established. I'm not going to create a source or turn speculation into fact, because one thing I've learned building this platform, credibility takes years. A lie takes seconds to collapse. Which one matters more to you? Making there first, like getting there first, or being somebody people can still believe tomorrow? So you want to report the story first and tell a lie, or you want to be the one to not say nothing and just deal with it tomorrow when you get the facts? I choose credibility. Truth doesn't mean extra seasoning. If the facts are powerful, let the facts breathe. Now, the government's lesson is bigger than dirt, right? We gotta ride into the government's lesson, right? Now, young brothers, young sisters, listen carefully. Forget celebrity, forget OTF, forget social media. Look at the principle. Somebody identified weakness, which is the government in this case, and they just went back and corrected it with a 4th superseding indictment. What weakness were you already seeing? Temper getting worse, correct it. Friends pulling you somewhere dangerous, correct it. Gun in the car, correct it. Get the hell out the car. Illegal money become your identity, correct it. Relationship bring chaos every week, correct it. Ego making decisions for you, correct it. I'm sure you understand what I'm saying. Whatever you know is not right in your life, correct it. Don't wait for consequences to correct it for you, because consequences are expensive teachers. Prison charges tuition, but not in financial, in years, centuries. Cemeteries change everything. And then you're still not free because they give you, like they gave me life plus 20. So I'm supposed to die. They're going to pull me back up to do the 20 years. And sometimes we know that's the painful part. We saw it coming. Mama warned us, friend warned us, gut warned us, life warned us. But pride said, keep going forward. When you already recognize the warning, what exactly are you waiting to happen before you change your life? That's the question. And now this is the jewel. A warning ignored long enough become an accomplice. Don't wait until the handcuffs confirm what your instincts already told you. Two different types of pressure. Now bring the chessboard back. Government pressure, defendant pressure, same courtroom, completely different stakes. Government pressure says, build a case that survives attack, draft it correctly, present admissible evidence, convince 12 people. Defense pressure says, find every weakness, challenge every assumption, exclude what shouldn't come in, create reasonable doubt. Defendant pressure. That's what that is. The defendant's pressure says your life may change, your family may change, your future may change, your children may experience you differently. Everything you build may be sitting on the other side of that verdict. That's why I don't talk about prison like entertainment. I lived there too long. A courtroom headline might last 2 days. A sentence can last decades. Mine lasts approximately 3 decades in federal prison. Who really wins when everybody gets entertainment from a situation somebody else has to survive? That's something worth thinking about. Never confuse watching consequences with understanding consequences. The streets are real, the courtroom is real, but prison is realer. Now, I'm gonna give you the final move. Hasn't been made yet. The final move hasn't been made yet. And that's where this case stands. Lil Durk is presumed innocent. The government has allegations to prove. His lawyers have the right to challenge them. The jury ultimately determines guilt or innocence on the charges tried. Nobody watching this video knows the verdict, but we can learn something before the verdict arrives. The government saw something it wanted to change, and it changed it with a superseding indictment. Durk's defense saw something it watched and wanted challenged, and it challenged it. That's the chess. That's the move. Counter move, pressure, patience, strategy. But here's where real life separates itself from chess. When the chess game ends, you put the pieces back in the box. When a federal case ends, somebody may lose years of their life in a box. That's why I keep telling the young generation, don't become a chess piece, in somebody else's game. Don't let ego move you. Don't let loyalty move you somewhere. Your common sense told you not to go. Don't let anger move you. Don't let Instagram move you. Don't let somebody yelling, standing on business. They telling you stand on business, homie. Make your stand inside the penitentiary is what they really telling you. Sometimes standing on business means walking away. Sometimes being a man means admitting you're wrong. Sometimes winning means never making the move. Where do you draw the line between standing firm and sacrificing yourself for pride? That's the conversation I want the class having. The final jewel. You don't have to defend every version of yourself. The government can supersede an indictment. You can supersede your mentality. Old you moved off emotion. New you move off consequences. Old you had to prove something. New you had something to prove. Old you couldn't turn around. New you understand. Strongest move on the board might be the move that keeps you free. Because everybody loves talking chess until freedom becomes the king. And once freedom is trapped, you finally understand the streets were never worth the sacrifice. Now, been on here 36 minutes, 40 minutes. I'm supposed to give you 10 questions. Well, let me go through them real fast and see y'all put in the comment. Does a 4 superseding indictment mean Durk has 4 different federal cases? Put that in the comment. Did the government discover an entirely new crime with this particular change, with the superseding indictment? And what is duplicity from what I told you? In simple terms, it's a legal concern that could arise when separate alleged offenses are improperly combined within one count. So that's why they separated them into multiple counts. Prosecutors don't want unnecessarily uncertainty surrounding what the jury is actually deciding. Clarity matters when somebody's freedom is being decided. Did Lil Durk defense get a win when they didn't add new charges? Were those separated allegations completely erased? The answer was in the earlier part of the video. Does this new indictment prove somebody flipped? The answer is in the beginning of this video. Does the government correcting something mean its entire case is weak? The answer is in the beginning of this video. What's the biggest pressure on Durk right now? Who's winning the chess match right now? Now, always got to ask y'all this last. What's the biggest lesson from this story? What's the biggest lesson you get from this story? What I want you to get from this story is when you see a weakness, correct it. Don't protect a bad decision because you're embarrassed to change. Change before consequences make the change for you. And the final jewel in that, the government wasn't too proud to change its paperwork. Don't be too proud to change your life, because correcting yourself today is a lot easier than trying to correct 20 years from inside a cell. The strongest change here. I appreciate y'all coming, and I want to show you why I do what I do. Let me introduce you to some people that frequent, my channel. We're gonna take it here first, right?
I just want to give a shout out to Unique Mecca Audio. He is so dope. I had the experience of actually meeting him in person. I've been a fan for 2 years, watching his story and watching his videos on YouTube. He is the bomb.com. Harlem, legendary, kingpin, real, official. As soon as I sat down by him, I knew like it was like a different energy, a different vibe. But then once I hear his voice, I'm like, oh my God, is that him? I'm all fanned out. Like, you know, it was such an experience getting the chance to meet him and, you know, being a fan of his YouTube channel and just following him for the last 2 years and knowing his story and seeing his interviews. And I support him 1,000%. And I'm subscribed to his YouTube. You should go and subscribe as well. Amazing, amazing.
Hey, what's going on, man? Murder Mook, Harlem, you know what it is, man. I just want to express how much gratitude I got for Unique. You know what I mean? I was telling him a story, telling him how I felt about, you know, if anything was to go wrong with my career, rap-wise, you know, if, you know, shit be slow and I got so many opportunities to be able to do the wrong shit. When I watch Unique Mecca Audio, I feel it, and I like to my soul, and that's keeping me farthest away from doing anything criminal. Anything criminal. He made me think straight, honestly. Made me think straight, because I've been watching him for about a year, like a year now, maybe, and it just took my mind way off of that, way off of that. From a year ago, it got rough. For a year ago,
Yeah.
and from watching this man, I just felt like you saved me. You saved me. And I just want to show my gratitude, and I want to say thank you, man. Unique Mecca Audio, anything you need, brother, from me.
All right.
Anything you need, man.
All right.
Here with the OGs, you already know.
Yeah.
Unique Mecca Audio. If you ain't tapped into Unique Mecca Audio, I don't know what you tapped into. I'm talking about real streets. I'm talking about real entertainment. I'm talking about real YouTubing, real getting to that bag. But I'm talking about a real OG that changed their life, yo. I changed my life the same way. And real OGs like that push me further to change my life. You hear me? Come look. Look what's going on out here. This Harlem. This Harlem. I'm a Brooklyn boy. So I only tapping with OGs like Mecca, man. Because I'm telling you, if you're not tapped into Unique Mecca Audio, I don't know what you're doing, man. Show them the scene, OG. They playing themselves. Congratulations, you played yourself.
What's going on, people? What's going on, man? You got your boy Lodestone out here in Harlem. I'm from the BX. I'm with Unique Mecca Audio. You know what I'm saying? It's a good vibe with the OG. I advise everybody, you want to hear real spill, real shit, no cap, tune in. Tune in and hear what the OG got to say, man. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna give you all the truth, man. He gonna give you that real shit, man.
Let's go. Hey, yo, tune in to Mecca Audio, man. Unique, man. Listen, man. I'm a young OG. I knew him since I was young. I used to be in Mecca Audio Studios. Great, man. I'm Ra from Tupac Me Against the World albums. You can check my credentials. This is a good man, real man. Mecca Audio. I've been on this, man, since I was a little young lad, man. Before Tupac album, before I even did the outlaw shit and all that, man. Holla at me, man. And tune in to Mecca Audio Unique, man. Holla at us, man.
All right.
You know.
What's good, y'all? This New York Chuck. Yeah, and this Erupt One. Yo, you know, we just here, we out here in Harlem, you know what I'm saying? We out here, you know, rock birthday party. You know, but this party right here brought out a lot of people, you know what I'm saying? And one of the people that this party brought out was like a cornerstone in Harlem, like, you know, I'm talking about with the music, getting money, doing all, and, you know, actually, like a lot of us, we took a page out of his book, you know, to get where we became in life, you know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna shout my guy out. Shout out to Unique Mecca Audio. You know what I'm saying? He bring y'all real street knowledge. He got all the gangsters on his pod. We Harlem, we the streets. You know what I'm saying? Tune in to Mecca Audio TV, man.
No
on
doubt,
YouTube.
no doubt.
On God, yo. One love for Unique, man. We love
Shout
you,
out to
bro.
Harlem, shout out to Jersey.
Cheers, cheers, toast the crime, toast the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime.
What?
Fresh out the can of 26,
yeah.
He back on the strip, getting back in the mix.
Yeah.
What he mentions a gift.
Right.
You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this.
Real.
Take a little gully posse and put it in Harlem. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. The Instagram page and the YouTube, you could go and visit.
Yeah.
Then you could consider yourself LinkedIn.
Real.
Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. How he went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. To not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated millions on the block, did his time, never squilling to the cops, Mecca audio. Get it live like 2 G's in the 90s. Drop top beamer so shiny. I let shorty go, she was whining. Treat her like my past, she behind me. Spend a couple bands on the Dapper Dan. You be back again, getting green like a Packers fan. No cap, it's a raw in Uptown. They be horn Uptown, Dominican bust downs. Now we on the positive, we got a lot to give. Now he trying to stop the kids from being inoperative. So take heed, homie, lend an ear. He started in Uptown, he gon' finish dead. But now it ain't about selling drugs, buying cars. It's about buying property to make the community ours, so we can give back to the
Cheers, cheers.